This is a tutorial to make puzzle cube pieces using Inventor. Alright, so here we have a completed puzzle cube piece. It's a green piece. From the front it looks just like an L, but we turn it to the side, we can see there's another block off the edge. So we're going to duplicate this piece. Alright, so I'm going to come up to the main menu and I'll select New Part. All right, the first thing I want to do is create a 2D sketch. So Inventor for the most part is set up pretty intelligently. You're in general going to start from the left and work your way down to the right. I mean, obviously you're not going to use all of this, but if you're just starting, most of the tools you want are towards the left. So I'm going to select Create 2D Sketch. All right, and I have three different planes I can choose from, and in my opinion it doesn't matter, but I'm going to choose the XY plane here. All right, since the puzzle cube piece is made out of essentially all rectangles, I'm just going to use the rectangle tool. I find that easier instead of selecting lines. The rectangle is guaranteed to be a closed loop, which means it'll guaranteed to be extruded. All right, so it's a 2-point rectangle, so I need to click the first corner and then the second corner. And so to begin with, I just click the rectangle of any shape. All right, now to reshape it to make it the size I want, I can use the dimension tool. All right, so dimensioning the width, each puzzle cube piece is 3/4 of an inch or 0.75 inches. All right, so I'm going to make this 0.75. Okay, and then the height, all right, so that's 3 cubes tall. So I could do the math in my head, 0.75 times 3, or if I'm not sure what that calculation would be, I can just type that in here, so 0.7 times 3, and let Inventor do the calculation for me. All right, so it got taller. I now can't see it completely, so one of the ways just to recenter it is to just click on front here of the cube in the right, and that'll recenter everything. So we can see the height dimension is 2.25, that is 0.75 times 3. All right, I'm going to add another rectangle, and I want to make sure this matches exactly to this bottom right hand corner. So you can see the cursor, it's a yellow dot, and then as soon as it snaps to there, it turns to a green dot. So that's the point I want to grab, and then just any point in this direction. I'll use the dimension tool again, 0.75, 0.75. All right, so at this point we have the first sketch completed and we're ready to extrude that, to take a 2D sketch and make it into 3D. All right, so again, we're working our way from left to right. We're done with this sketch, so we hit Finish Sketch at the end. All right, we're now in feature mode instead of sketch mode. So again, we're zoomed in a little bit too far. I'm going to hit the home button here just to kind of recenter things. I do prefer in feature mode the isometric view as opposed to a straight on view. And you'll see why in a second. So we're ready to extrude this. All right, I have two different regions. I need to tell Inventor I want to extrude both of them. So I'm going to click in both of my regions, and the default extrude distance is 1 inch, but our puzzle cubes are 3/4 of an inch thick, so we need to change this to 0.75. All right, so the last thing we need to do is add that piece in the back. So one of the easiest ways to manipulate your object is just click and you can drag and rotate that cube, right, to get a different perspective. All right, so looking now at the back, all right, I need to add another cube back here. So I'm just going to repeat that process. I'm going to create another sketch. All right, and so instead of picking those 3 planes, there are now several planes on this L shape. All right, so since I want to sketch it on the back, I'm going to choose this plane here. All right, and now I'm going to select rectangle. So again, I want to make sure I start from the corner. So wait for it to snap to green, and then I'm going to drag it across to the other side. And I'll dimension the height of this to 0.75. All right, now the width I shouldn't have to dimension. When I dragged it, I made sure I snapped it to the width here. So it's already constrained to match to width before, so it should be 0.75. In fact, if I try to dimension this, all right, I'll get a message that it'll over constrain it. All right, so I usually just cancel that. I don't need that dimension. All right, so we're done with this sketch. We're ready to extrude. I'll hit Finish Sketch. All right, we'll extrude that. All right, so I'm going to, again, select the region I want to extrude. That's this way. I want to make sure it's going in the correct direction now that I have something already built. Inventor's pretty smart, and it knows you probably want to go away from the shape you picked, but you can always change the direction over here. It's set to 0.75 like we had it before, so I think it's all ready to go. We'll say OK. Okay, and there's our shape. All right, so the last thing we want to do is give it some color. A couple different ways to do it. I usually come up here to the top ribbon where it says default. There are a bunch of different options, not just colors, but different textures you can give it. So for green, I believe I used the dark green before, and that'll give it the dark green color. And then I would just do Save As. All right, it's within my Puzzle Cube project. I call it green part. Okay, and we can repeat the process for the next Puzzle Cube. That would get a brand new IPT for each Puzzle Cube.